Welcome back to the channel, everyone. Davey Deathray here, back with some more movie news and more. Some news that isn't movie related, but stuff I wanted to share anyway. So I hope you guys are having a great week so far. It is Thursday, June 5th, 2025, and I hope you guys are, doing very well. You know, I don't know how many people are going to show up to a stream this early in the day, at least early stateside. However, I had such a fun time doing the news with you guys just the other day. And then what I did is I have been slicing out those stories and just, posting those as their own videos. And I've really enjoyed that. I've really enjoyed the interaction there. I'm seeing some interaction from folks that I haven't seen in the live stream. And of course, some of you guys as well. So thank you so much for your support going to those premieres and checking out, those vids and putting your opinions down in the comments. That's really awesome. I really appreciate it. And to any of the folks that are brand new, if you happen to be catching this stream and you're like, who is this guy? What's this guy all about? I'm Davey Deathray. I talk a lot about horror movies on here, and we talk about music, and we talk about mental health and lifting each other up and building that community here on YouTube. But I'm also just like a huge movie fan. So guys, some of you that are used to me only talking about horror films, you're going to see some news that's not related to that. Just things that kind of pique my interest, like the new Superman or the new Fantastic Four, or anything really like that that comes out where I'm like, I find this kind of interesting. So I really appreciate all the support, all the new people that have showed up. We've had a really nice bump on the channel over the last month. May was the most views we ever got here on the Davey Deathray channel. We had over 20,000 views on the channel, which is amazing for this. We're on the precipice of 1,500 subs. So I find that very encouraging that we've got that kind of viewership. I want this community to grow. Part of that is me working a little harder, trying some new things and doing some stuff I haven't done before, which is why you're seeing more pre-recorded movie reviews. You're seeing more shorts on the channel. And of course, these news bits, as I call them, that I clip out of these news shows. Now, don't worry, Hit the Bricks is still every other week with Lee from Drum Dums and Nick from the Lost River Drive-In, and you can find that show over on the Drum Dums channel. However, sometimes we get to talking, we cover a handful of stories, but we're very verbose guys, and we want to let our chemistry just kind of fly on that show. So I found that there's some stories where I'm like, I don't think we're going to talk about this, or, we have our own little chat going on the side. So there are certain things here that I'm going to cover today that I don't think we're going to cover on Hit the Bricks. So you're still going to get all of that fun content. And I figured, why the heck not cover some news whenever something pops up that I really enjoy. So I want to say what's up to everyone in the chat. Guys, please let me know if the audio is sounding good. I'm trying a little bit of a different thing with the audio because I noticed it was pretty hot when I was cutting together those clips from before. So hopefully my voice still sounds warm, but it's not like, oh my gosh, right in your face. But just let me know in the chat. And I'm going to say what's up to you guys. And we've got quite a few stories here to get through. And I've also got 2 movies to watch today. Maybe a third. I might check out Ballerina. However, it didn't seem like anyone really cared about my Mission Impossible review. I don't know if anyone would care about my Ballerina review. Guys, if you want me to watch Ballerina tonight at like 9:15, let me know. But I'm planning on, at 4:45, I'm going to watch The Phoenician Scheme, the brand new Wes Anderson movie with Benicio del Toro. And then at 7:30, I'm going to be watching Dangerous Animals with Jai Courtney, the shark/serial killer movie, which looks very interesting and has had my attention ever since I saw the very first teaser about a month and a half, 2 months ago. So I'm really excited to check those out. Expect some out of theater reactions in the shorts. And then when I get home tonight, I'll shoot reviews for both of those movies as well. At least Dangerous Animals. If I have something to say about Phoenician Scheme, I'll do a review. It could be a very quick review. Who knows? Wes Anderson movies are pretty dependable as far as the tone you get and the quality as well. So we'll see. We got Lamontre Gillard in the chat. What's happening, Lamontre? So great to see ya. Chester Franklin Jr. What's up, Chester? Yeah, guys, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, share the channel with someone who you think would dig this kind of content, and drop a comment down below on, did I say who would enjoy this kind of comment, who'd enjoy this kind of content, and drop a comment down below. Let me know what you think about these stories. If any of them really, if they resonate with you and you've got something to say, then let me know in the comments. We've got Gory Tiger. What's happening, Gory? Hope you're doing well. Gina, Miss My Chunky Jordy, hanging out with us. Hope you're doing well, Gina. Gina is one of our amazing channel members. And guys, you can become a channel member for just $1 a month. How about it? Not so bad at all. Gina says Alien Earth trailer looks interesting. Oh, we may touch on that a little bit. There are some things that we're going to cover on Hit the Bricks that I'm going to kind of skim over today, guys, because I want you to know that I'm aware of these things, but I want to save the conversation for Hit the Bricks. I'll let you know a little bit, but I'll save the juicy stuff for the big show, as it were. What's happening, Curtis? We got our guy from Twisted Locker, another one of our great channel members. Hope you're doing well, my friend. So thank you so much for jumping on in. Guys, if you haven't checked out Twisted Locker yet, you're going to want to peep over there and give him a sub. We got Destiny Faulkner, one of our amazing Death Squad mods. How are you doing, Dez? Hope you're having a good one. Dez, have you seen Dangerous Animals yet? I'm curious. Let me know. Or do you plan on checking it out? I'm going to go watch it today. I saw that you had revisited Talk to Me. I really enjoyed that one. I liked Talk to Me. I'm sure I've said this a million times as I try to fix my unruly hair. I like Talk to Me quite a bit more than I ended up liking Bring Her Back, even though I liked Bring Her Back. What's happening, Space Hunter 83? So great to see you. We got Dominic St. Clair. How you doing, Dominic? Always a pleasure. Ashton Luck jumping in. Wolfman's got nards, saying The Exorcist will be delayed due to Carrie. Boo. Well, way to friggin' just, I'm gonna talk about it, Barry. Guy. Yeah, we're gonna get to that. We have a trio of Wolfman's got nards. I'm just like reading his name. I'm so distracted, Barry, by your amazing icon. Honestly, yeah, I don't know. I guess The Exorcist does interest me more than Carrie, I suppose. I mean, I want Mike Flanagan to be able to do like kind of his own thing, but apparently that's really not what he's interested in. So whatever he wants to do, he gets to do. But yeah, guys, we do have a trio of Mike Flanagan news that we'll be getting to here. I've seen the trailer for Ballerina. It looks good. Never seen any. Yeah, I haven't seen any of the John Wick movies either, which is why I'm like, well, maybe I can just like not go to see Ballerina. Also, modern action movies just really aren't my thing, guys. Like quick editing and I don't know, like ridiculous action, like 120-pound girls like taking down rooms full of dudes just doesn't really. I mean, even like Mission Impossible, I enjoyed it for what it was, but that is not my kind of movie at all. Like, not one bit. I grew up with 80s action movies, which were kind of over the top and really fun, you know? These are like over the top and like brooding. Let's see here. Not yet on Dangerous Animals. Watching it tonight. Yeah, myself as well. Yeah, man, Talk to Me, so good. Absolutely love Dangerous Animals. It looks pretty damn good. What's happening? Eli Cortez, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods at work, so I'll be in and out of the chat. No worries, man. No worries at all. Okay, guys, let's just go ahead and jump on into this. I'm guessing the audio is sounding good. We're not having any issues. I am enjoying a Miller Lite. I know it's early, but guys, I got in my workout today. So I'm just this is gonna be my little snack during the stream. T. Parker Evans is in the chat to say, I'm not much of an action guy. I heard the John Wick films are 70% action, 30% drama. I'll probably zone out during the action scenes. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure they're fun. I never find myself like, oh, what can I do right now? There's a bunch of like horror movies or whatever I could catch up on, or I could do something for the channel, or I could like relax and watch a baseball game, or, you know, like last night I watched the Stanley Cup Finals, Game 1, Edmonton and Florida, and I'm a sports guy too. I like a lot of different stuff, so very rarely am I like, I want to watch a movie that's in a subgenre that I don't really care about. Okay, sweet. Thank you so much, T. Really appreciate you, man. Yeah, thank you, Eli. Don't forget to slash that like button and sub to this amazing channel and consider becoming a member of the mighty Death Squad for some awesome perks. I never caught Con Air. Some of the 90s action stuff is fun. By the time I was in the, like, you know, the night, what, I turned 8 in 1990, I was just more at getting into horror and comedy and watching Little Shop of Horrors a whole lot and Dirty Rotten Scoundrels, stuff like that. Jordan Decker, one of our amazing channel members, jumps in to say the original John Wick is terrific. Yeah, there might be a time where I watch it, you know. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Trying to do a triple feature today and fit in the ballerina at the end, I might just walk out of the theater in a bad mood. Sports guy Davey, San Francisco 49ers just took over my soccer team, the Rangers. The ownership. Well, then get used to your team almost winning everything, but not quite. And they'll be relevant, but they'll never be able to push themselves over the hump. Because that's been the 49ers since, what, guys, the last time the 49ers won a Super Bowl, I think it was 1994, but they've been to like 3 since then. I think 3 since then. Yeah, sounds right. All right. Already used to that. Well, there you go. Hey, maybe they'll have some better luck. And of course, best of luck to your Rangers. Okay, guys, let's go ahead and get into the news. Now, the first batch of stories we're going to cover, these are going to be things that I think we're going to talk about on Hit the Bricks this coming Monday. So I'm going to kind of breeze through these first stories, but please let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments down below after, you know, the stream is all finished up, how you're feeling about everything here. What's happening? Frank Riker from the Slaughtered Lamb Movie Podcast. Sending some love. Thank you so much, Frank. Happy to see that you were gifted a membership there. That's awesome. What's happening, Raggedy Man? So good to see ya. Frank, I threw my hat in the ring there for your Friday the 13th trivia. I might get my ass kicked. We'll see what happens if I'm fortunate enough to make the cut. But we'll see. I would imagine a lot of folks that follow you guys are going to want to get in on that for sure. All right, let's go ahead and jump on over to the news, guys. So first up, yes, Blumhouse has reportedly acquired the Saw franchise rights from Twisted Pictures. And for some, this is really exciting news. For others, it's like, oh, God, not another Blumhouse reimagining. These guys ruin everything. They put together great trailers, and then the movies just never quite deliver. However, I don't feel that way. I think Blumhouse, for me, is kind of 50-50. Some of the movies I really enjoy. I loved the David Gordon Green Halloween trilogy. Every single one of them to varying degrees, but I liked all of those movies quite a damn bit. And with Saw, I think I've only seen like the first 3 or 4 Saw movies, so I'm not very attached to this franchise. So, you know, we're going to talk about this more on Hit the Bricks, but I am very curious as to what you guys think about Blumhouse, you know, acquiring the Saw rights. You know, Atomic Monster, let me just scroll through really quick. So Atomic Monster, my mouse doesn't want to cooperate here, has, you know, they teamed up with Blumhouse quite a while ago. So that's James Wan's production company. So in a sense, it's like Saw is going partially back to one of the original creators. So, you know, not to say that James would end up directing another Saw film. I mean, he could somewhere down the line, but he could definitely be there as a producer. So yeah, I'll read a couple quick bits, and then the juicier discussion is going to happen on Hit the Bricks. So it says Blumhouse is essentially taking over the IP's ownership from Twisted's Mark Berg and Oren Kules. Lionsgate will continue to be involved as a partner. So I think the big question here, and something that we're definitely going to dive into on Hit the Bricks, is are we going to get a Saw 11 as originally planned for fall of 2024, I think is when it was originally going to come out? Or is Blumhouse going to reboot the whole damn thing? I think that'll be the interesting bit of news to follow here. And that's, I would imagine we'll discuss something like that on Hit the Bricks this coming Monday. But yeah, it is this is interesting. You know, I feel like with everything else with us horror fans, we were kind of love-hate relationship with these production companies. So even A24, which a lot of people really enjoy, people are like, oh, another A24 movie that ends and you don't know what the hell it was actually trying to say. So, you know, they all kind of have their little quirks, as it were, like that. So there is a poll in the chat if you guys want to chime in and let me know how you're feeling about Blumhouse taking over Saw. I'm curious to know. So let's see if anyone's chit-chatting about that. Everyone's just saying what's up. Yeah, at least Blumhouse has James Wan. There you go. Chester, you know, kind of laughing at it. Yeah, where is the link for Horror on Tap? Eli, are you there? Can you share it? Des, are you there? Can you share it? T. Parker says, I feel the Blumhouse hate is forced. I'm happy they got the rights, and James Wan has creative control again. Yeah, hopefully he is involved, for sure. I mean, involved more than just being having his production company attached. I would love for him, yeah, to actually be like a producer and, you know, kind of be hands-on with where the story goes from there. What's happening, Ryan? So good to see you. How are you doing, Denise, one of our great channel members? And I forgot to mention T. Parker is a great channel member as well. Frank says, please let Blum get Scream. Nail in the coffin. Oh, well, we'll see how Scream 7 does, Frank. But I'm sure you've already made up your mind on that one. Let's see here. Barry says, get Tobin Bell with a backwards cap for the next movie. There you go. Love it. I don't know if this is true, but I saw on Twitter James Wan wanted Saw to be reported. Don't know how much from the source, so take it with a grain of salt, I guess. Okay, so maybe this isn't happening. I don't know. We'll talk more about it on Hit the Bricks. I'm not going to spend much more time on it here since we have so many stories to cover. Here's another one we're going to cover on Hit the Bricks as well. Alien Earth official trailer unleashes monsters from darkest corners of the universe. So yeah, we got a sweet little shot there of a baby xenomorph. Is that what that is? Are we going to have little children xenomorphs in this show? I don't know about that. Yeah, I would imagine we will watch and discuss this Alien trailer on Hit the Bricks. But we all know that, you know, there's a brand new Alien TV show coming out. So the Alien franchise comes to Earth and the small screen for the very first time in Alien Earth. And the official trailer for creator Noah Hawley's series has arrived this morning. Alien Earth will premiere with this horror series' first 2 episodes on August 12th at 8 p.m. on FX and Hulu in the US and Disney Plus internationally. New episodes will follow weekly on Tuesdays at 8 p.m. through September 23rd. Watch the official trailer down below. So yeah, we're not going to watch that here. I'm going to save that for Hit the Bricks. And also, when I watched the trailer for the Black Phone 2 the other day, Universal did not appreciate that. So I'm going to keep away from watching trailers. But of course, you guys know how to find these trailers if you want to watch them. And we will discuss this one further on Hit the Bricks. So let me know in the chat and in the comments down below if you're looking forward to this, how you feel about the Alien franchise. I feel like there's a couple really good movies there and everything else is just kind of okay to bad. I mean, even Romulus, I didn't think it was a bad movie, but it's very far from being a great movie. Just kind of right there in the middle. Like, Fede Alvarez doesn't make a bad picture. He really knows how to walk into somebody else's IP and handle it well. But I feel like the Alien franchise, much like the Predator franchise, which we'll talk about a little bit later, guys, not everything needs to be an expanded universe. And we see all these different versions of this character and that character. And then every time there's a new iteration, you know, Slaughtered Lamb was live yesterday and they were talking about, you know, biggest downgrades from a character between movies or between, you know, entries in a series. And they brought up the Predator. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, the Predator has gotten so far away from what it was, like this mysterious, like, awesome, fun action movie. Even the first 2 movies, I think, are pretty cool with how they handle the lore and everything. But now we have, like, you know, dog predators, different looking predator. Like the new Predator in the movies got like dreadlocks instead of like a scaly head. It's just, I don't know. For me, I just don't know that we need oversaturation of every little thing that's like kind of popular. because we just get a whole bunch of stuff in the middle, essentially. So yeah, that's Alien Earth. We're going to talk more about that on Hit the Bricks. And guys, moving over to a little follow-up here on Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein, rated R for bloody violence and grisly images. Well, I guess that's kind of good news, because the other day, you know, people had a big freak out on Twitter over Mia Goth saying that this movie isn't a horror movie, that it's emotional and intimate and very deep and personal and all that kind of stuff. We'll talk about that on Hit the Bricks, whether or not horror can be those things. I think you guys know how I feel about that. But I do think that, just to give you a little tidbit of my thoughts on this, I do think that there is something to be said for just smart marketing. And a lot of people, when they hear the word horror, they're like, oh, I don't know if I'll like that because I don't like scary stuff. And the Frankenstein story, if you read it, there are horror elements, but it really is a think piece, and it is intimate and emotional and deep. But here we are, rated R for bloody violence and grisly images. So it's going to be horror, guys. And if Mia Goth wants to say it's not horror, so more people give it a chance, I guess my quick thoughts on that is I'm totally okay with it. I don't think of it as horror phobia or denigrating the genre or anything like that everyone likes to freak the hell out about. But that is one that we will definitely talk about more on Hit the Bricks. And guys, last little quick news story we've got here. Hell House LLC Lineage teaser franchise finale set for August theatrical release. All right, so they just dropped a teaser. This is the franchise finale. It is going to the theater for the very first time in the entire series. I just wanted to touch on this because our guy Dean Renner, who's one of our Patreon members and one of our channel members, he put out a really great deep dive dissection of this trailer. I'm not really going to cover it. This series is not really my thing. I've watched the very first movie. Didn't do much for me. But Dean put together a great breakdown. So guys, head on over to Enter the Cinevault. If one of the mods wants to throw the link in the chat, that would be great. And check out Dean's channel. Check out his breakdown. It's about 9.5 minutes. It's awesome. That's the place that you're going to want to go for your Hell House LLC Lineage coverage. Okay. Now I'm going to hop back into the chat and see what's happening with you guys really quick before we move on. Hopefully everything is holding up here. Last time I covered a news story, it was like Scream 7 News, and the audio was all jacked up. But I want to kind of see what you guys are saying here. Let's see here. That's what happens when the Xenos come from the Lollipop Guild. Love it. I've been really disappointed in the Alien franchise the last several years, says Ashton. Don't know what to think of Alien Earth. Yeah. Braden Timmons. Holy cow. Braden, I hope you're doing well, man. Great to see you pop up. And hopefully I'll see you at a press screening sometime in the near future. We got Leanna Bebby Rage, one of our great channel members and Death Squad mods. Hope you're doing well, Leanna. Let's see who else we got in the chat. Holy cow, Mark of Tales from the Shelf, another great channel out here on YouTube. And guys, Mark is going to be on the channel next Wednesday for Late Night with the Davey, 9 p.m. Eastern, with Vincent DeSanti of Womp Stomp Films. We're going to have a versus battle. Friday the 13th, the final chapter, versus Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. That's going to be a banger of a versus episode. We got Gene Whitcomb in the chat. What's happening, Gene? How you doing? It's not a horror. It's an animated comedy drama. Oh, Frankenstein? That would be amazing. That would be amazing if they did it as an animation. Looks really good. What's happening, King Matthew? Hope you are doing well. So great to see you. Hell House looks to be really good. Love the others. There you are. T. Parker says, that's how I feel with Frankenstein. It's a marketing ploy to attract the mainstream audience, especially since it's coming out in November. Even the director said he didn't make a horror movie. Yeah, I mean, the rating is what it is, but of course they want people to tune in. And I shit you not, when I meet new people and I say that I talk about horror movies on YouTube, they're like, oh, I can't watch those. And I'm like, well, what about Halloween? And they're like, I can watch that. And I'm like, that's a fucking horror movie. That's a horror movie, dummy. These people are dumb. I don't know if you know this. A lot of people are dumb. No, not going to do that, Jordan, but thank you so much. Jordan, I saved that for the for our private calls, our private video calls. Victor E. Merced, it's been a while, Victor. Welcome back on in. Hope you're doing well. Leanna, thank you so much for sharing that. There you go, guys. Check out Dean's vid over there on Enter the Cinevault. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get saucy with it. I'm going to actually share the... Here we go. This video is doing well for him, but what would work even better is if you guys, if you haven't already, if you drop a subscribe there. There's the link for the video as well. Let me see if I can pin that in the chat. Let's see. Dean's channel. Boom, 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 boom. Okay, guys, I'm going to pin that in the chat. So, yeah, you can follow Leanna's link over to the channel. You can follow the link that's pinned in the chat to check out the video itself. And holy cow, let's check into our poll here. 28 votes. Are you excited for Blumhouse having the rights to the Saw franchise? 54% say I don't care either way. Damning right there. 32% say hell yeah, here we go, baby. And 14% say no, they ruin everything. There you go. Des says most people are fucking idiots. I love it. Oh, Des. Yeah, it's tough being out in public sometimes, isn't it? I don't know. And I'm not even saying I'm that smart. It's just that's how big the gap is. Guys, we've got 10 likes on the stream right now, but there's 21 of you hanging out. So if you haven't already, please click that like button. And if you're not subscribed, consider subscribing there as well. What's happening, Em? Hope you are doing well. So great to see you popping on in here. Okay, guys, let's get to some news that I want to talk about. And in typical Davey Death Ray fashion, I totally effed up and did not create little banners for this. So I need to create some banners. Now there's going to be a couple like really nerdy things that we cover here really quick. So just bear with me and like, let me do my thing, you guys. Gosh, it's my channel. I got to stop saying so damn much. Boom, guys. There it is. I'm excited for this. I grew up in the age of Mortal Kombat. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection coming to PlayStation later this year, but that's not it, guys. PlayStation 5 and 4, Xbox, Xbox One, PC via Steam, Nintendo Switch 2, and Nintendo Switch. I love these games so much. You know, you're kind of like either a Street Fighter person or a Mortal Kombat person. I am so much more of a Mortal Kombat guy. Love the fatalities, love the creativity with the characters. And when I was a kid, there was nothing more fun than having a pocket full of quarters and going to play some Mortal Kombat and seeing how long you could last at a competitive arcade. So yeah, guys, I mean, real quick on this one, we don't need to spend a lot of time on it. That's why this is movie news and more. This is going to include Mortal Kombat, the original from 1992, the arcade version, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy, and Game Gear. Mortal Kombat 2 from 1993, arcade, Super Nintendo, Genesis, Game Boy, 32X. I played that version so much. That version on the 32X is absolutely incredible. Although I guess when you have the arcade version, do you really need the 32X version? But it'll be fun to compare. Then we got Mortal Kombat 3 from 95, arcade, Super Nintendo, and Genesis. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3 from 1995, arcade, and just Super Nintendo. I mean, if you have the arcade, that's it. Mortal Kombat 4, the arcade version. And these are, I've never played these. Mortal Kombat Advance from 2001, Game Boy Advance. Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance from 2002, Game Boy Advance. And Mortal Kombat Tournament Edition 2003 on the Game Boy Advance. Never played those last three versions of the game. And the real fun thing here in this article is it says, still not enough. Mortal Kombat Legacy Collection will also include design documents, early prototype materials, motion capture sessions, concept art, and much more, including some never before seen items. So I'm kind of a video game nerd. when it comes to like old school gaming, I'm looking forward to this one. I don't know if you guys have any feelings at all. Doesn't look like you do. I don't. Yeah. What else do I want you to do? I don't know. Let's see here. King Matthew III says, while I love they're bringing the older Mortal Kombat games to PS4 and PS5, I wish they remade Mortal Kombat Shaolin Monks for the PS5. I never played that one either. Yeah, I mean, the whole thing they're doing here, Matthew, is they're just going with the main line, just the fighting games. So none of the stuff outside of that. So yeah, guys, I'm really looking forward to this one. I don't have a Nintendo Switch 2 yet. I'll probably wait for the price to go way down on that thing before I dive into that one. But I could see myself wanting to, I have plans to pick this up when it releases. So I totally skimmed past when it's releasing. Let's see here. Does it say due out later this year? They don't have a date for it, so not sure when it's coming out. I would imagine sometime in the fall. Probably want to plan that for right before holiday season or right around Halloween. So we'll keep an eye on that. Don't need to spend too much time on it other than that. So let's go ahead and move on to our next little bit of video game news. Let's see here. Let's see. Don't mind my silence, guys. This will all be way better once this is clipped out. But Dean says, how did I miss this live starting? Well, you probably don't have the notification bell clicked, Dean. So, I thought we were friends. I'm just joking. Yeah, if you click the notification bell, guys, it'll let you know a half hour before I go live or before I'm scheduled to go live. And then it will give you another notification when the live button is actually hit. So yeah, Dean, you missed it. I already plugged your Hell House LLC, breakdown of the brand new teaser and everything. We dropped the links in the chat. The link to the vid is actually pinned in the chat. So there you go. You're already getting a little love there. Curtis from Twisted Locker says, bring on the classic Mortal Kombat's pure childhood right there. Absolutely. Okay, guys, let's jump into our next story here. So we've got another Blumhouse story. Blumhouse and Atomic Monster producing Phasmophobia film adaptation. Now, someone had mentioned this in the chat the other day. I can't remember who it was. I've never played Phasmophobia, so again, we won't linger too long on like the video game, centered kind of stuff. But Jamie Hart, our original Death Squad mod and channel member here, says that I should play this game. She said I would really enjoy it. So I'm going to read just a quick little bit on it, and then we can move on relatively, quick here. It says, well, this is another case where you knew it was coming. Kinetic Games has announced a live-action adaptation of Phasmophobia, currently in development. Fittingly, the film will be produced by Blumhouse and Atomic Monster, which are no strangers to video game to film adaptations, thanks to Emma Tammy's Five Nights at Freddy's and its upcoming sequel. Quote, we are thrilled to officially announce that a Phasmophobia film adaptation is in development. It's a big moment for the whole Kinetic team and the start of something really exciting, said Daniel Knight, director of Kinetic Games and lead developer of Phasmophobia. He goes on to say, we never could have imagined the incredible heights this game would reach when it launched 5 years ago, and we're so thankful to our amazing community for the lasting impact Phasmophobia has had in the gaming space and beyond. Working with Blumhouse and Atomic Monster marks an incredible new chapter for the game, and we can't wait to share more as the project develops. All right, I don't know. Again, I've not played this game, but apparently it's something that I'm going to have to get into. Again, with how people feel about Blumhouse, and especially, Five Nights at Freddy's did pretty well. And then I know they didn't have anything to do with this, but Until Dawn just recently came out, didn't do so well. So, yeah, I don't know much about the game here. It says it's a genre-defining title in a multiplayer horror gaming. So maybe you guys can let me know in the chat what it's all about. But this is exciting stuff. I mean, we need more good video game to film adaptations. So again, we don't have to linger too long on this one, guys, but I am curious to know if you guys all have anything to say. Oh, and I wasn't even sharing the screen the whole time I did that. That's perfect. That's perfect. Oh, too good. Well, I guess I won't be sharing that one on the video. Or you know what? Here's what I can do. I can do a little editing thing, and I can cut from this, and I can just cut it right there as well. Okay, so the clip will make more sense, guys. But you know, hopefully you like my voice enough to where even if I'm failing to share the screen, that you guys are, you know, there with me. Will I be doing the crown thing in the chat? I don't know what that's all about. What is that all about? What is the crown thing, guys? I've seen it pop up on other people's channels. I have no idea what it is. Phasmophobia, you want to play Phasmophobia with me? All right. Let's get it going. I guess I got to get a Steam account and all that kind of stuff. I don't really do much, don't do much online gaming. What's happening? We got our life in horror. How you doing, Sam? So great to see ya. It's like the ghost hunting style shows. You go in, investigate, and then get out. Okay. All right. Hell yeah. Some sort of leaderboard for engagement. I have no idea. Where do I set that up? We're just going to take a break from the actual stream now and see if I can set this thing up. Sam, do you do it? Do you set it up on your dashboard? I have no idea. I have no idea what this is. Huh. Yeah. Huh. I don't even know. How did you guys set it up? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. Nobody else realizes that you use an AI voice synthesizer. You know, I think people think that I'm putting on a voice like I'm doing this the whole time. But no, sadly, this is how I sound. Oh, okay. So maybe they're just trying it out for a handful of creators. Yeah, I haven't seen anything pop up. So I'd imagine they just, maybe they're doing some beta testing or something. That's awesome, though. I've seen, the little purple crown. Yeah. Guys, we've got 18 likes here on the stream, but there's 25 of you watching. So I know some people are holding out. So go ahead and hit that like button if you haven't already. T. Parker says, I'm going to be honest, I find all video game adaptations to be pretty lackluster, with the exception of the Super Mario movie. Yeah, that movie was pretty damn fun. I love the original, the very first Mortal Kombat movie. I think that one's pretty damn good. Yeah, I'll check that out and see if I find anything there. What's happening, Jamie, our original Death Squad mod and channel member? Hope you're doing well. Don't do the crown. It's for who does most comments. Oh, so it's a way to reward the audience. Okay, yeah, I mean, if it pops up, I mean, anything to get more engagement from people, you know, I'm kind of down. So yeah, let's go ahead and jump on into our next, let's see here. Okay, here's our next little bit of news. This one's going to be a really quick one, guys, and I'll make sure to keep the screen sharing and all that stuff. This is, I mean, I can't not share this because I'm such a big Jaws fan. Gutter Garb celebrates 50 years of Jaws with 5 shirts. So yeah, guys, 50th anniversary of Jaws is coming up. I believe it's June 20th was the original release date. So mark your calendars to celebrate 50 years of Jaws. And I'm just making sure that everything is good there. Okay. So yeah, Gutter Garb is celebrating Jaws' 50th anniversary with 5 shirts from Steven Spielberg's original summer blockbuster, featuring artwork from by Sam Coyne, Brandon Stex, Mr. Black, and Justin Bryant. Each design is available on standard tees for $32 and comfort colors for $34. Pre-orders are open through Sunday, June 8th, and will ship the week of June 29th, so you're not even going to get them until after the 50th anniversary. What the H? What the H? I'll show you. They've got like 3 of them posted here. I think this one's okay. It's not a shot from the movie. Kind of odd. I mean, it looks cool, but whatever. And the name being at the bottom of the shirt, I'm not a big fan of that. I love this one. No swimming, hazardous area, beach closed by order of Amity PD. Not super pumped on the Jaws 50 logo right underneath it. Like, couldn't that just be like on the back? Because because I like the kind of aged, lived-in look the shirt has, and I sort of wish that you could, people may mistake it for a vintage shirt, but once you see that Jaws 50, looking all clean and neat in the bottom, yeah. Guys, this one, pretty fun. This never happens in the movie, but I like that the title's red and at the top. I dig that. I guess they have all of them here. This one's pretty cool, like a little bit of a different take on the actual cover of the film. But guys, this last one, if you're looking to get me a Jaws gift, this is the one. Look at how beautiful this is. I love that kind of, it is a red, it's like a soft red lettering with some little like speckles of dirt on it. It's got that grain, the black and white shot of the shark, coming out of the water, and it's got that line, the terrifying motion picture from the terrifying #1 bestseller. I love that tagline. That is a punk rock shirt if I ever saw one. I love that one. What do you guys think? Are you guys, I would imagine most of you guys are Jaws fans. Are you guys Gutter Garbs fans? When it comes to t-shirts, graphic tees, I don't buy a whole hell of a lot these days. But I love this shirt that's on the screen right now. Absolutely right up my alley. The first one with the shark, that's the one that Braden loves the most. The first shirt is cool artwork. I'm not big on the beach clothes sign shirt. The other two I already have. All right. They're selling Jaws red and white wine, blue spritzer, and 50th anniversary limited edition whiskey bottle. All sorts of fun stuff for Jaws 50th. Merchandising. I have that last shirt, and it's awesome. So there you guys go. If you want to get me a little gift for no good reason at all, there you are. I love the third shirt. That's the one I want. Is that the one with the, this one right here with the barrels, Jamie? That's the one you want? All right. I have so many damn Gutter Garb shirts. I don't know if they're Gutter Garb shirts, but I picked up a couple at H45. I can, one of those companies that makes those awesome shirts. I should buy stock in Gutter Garbs at this point. Yeah, they make some really fun stuff. I had to share this because it's the fourth shirt that Jamie really likes. There you go. That's the one for Jamie Hart. If you're looking for something for her, there it is. Yeah, I'm always going to share some Jaws news. Really looking forward to the 50th anniversary. Really looking forward to that new documentary that's got, man, some footage we've never seen before, especially the original, like, Alex Kittner kill footage, which looks pretty damn brutal there. Yeah, so that's going to wrap it up for that little bit of news on the Gutter Garbs 50th anniversary shirts for Jaws. And what do we have next? Ooh, this is a fun one. A fun one for me. In the dawn. Just bear with me, folks. Okay, there we are. So yeah, guys, this came out, I believe it was yesterday. Ken Faree, the star of the original Dawn of the Dead by George A. Romero, shares a plea to preserve the Dawn of the Dead Mall in Monroeville, Pennsylvania. Recently, well, let's just read through the story here. I'm sure it'll have all the info that we need. So it says the Monroeville Mall, where George A. Romero famously filmed Dawn of the Dead, was recently sold to Walmart. Although the retail giant has yet to disclose its plans for the property, horror fans are concerned about losing the iconic location. The mall is currently home to a bronze bust of Romero, commemorating its cinematic legacy, as well as the Living Dead Museum. It has also hosted zombie walks, tours, and conventions, in addition to becoming a tourist spot for horror fans. Ken Faree, who starred as Peter Washington in Dawn of the Dead, shared his impassioned thoughts about the future of the Monroeville Mall on social media. And he says, quote, "This place means a great deal to millions. It is now going to be replaced by a major retailer. The question is, does the Monroeville Mall have the necessary requirements to become a historical landmark? Historical landmarks are places where people visit because it has a significant place in their life. It is a building or a place that has achieved fame and notoriety because of the significant contribution to our history. The Monroeville Mall may not qualify, but let's look at its history. The Washington or Lincoln monuments, it's not. And of course, not Mount Rushmore. But I would dare to say that it's visited and celebrated by more vacationers, sightseers, and fans than a lot of the historical landmarks in America. There you go. I mean, stated as only Ken Furry could. I can imagine his voice saying it, guys. There's something about that. I can just totally imagine him saying it. Let's see here. This goes on, so I don't feel the need to read every little bit of this, but yeah, the mall was built in 1969 as a hub of consumerism, and 78 is when they made the film. And I would imagine everyone watching this video after the fact or hanging out in the live stream, we've all seen Dawn of the Dead. I've never heard anyone say a bad word about this movie. And it is amazing that this building is still there and that it is used as a museum and kind of like a little bit of a horror mecca, especially for folks that are, zombie fans or fans of George Romero. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what they do here. I would personally, I've never been there before. I'd love to visit someday. It's all the way across the country from where I'm at. But, I certainly wouldn't want to see it gutted or, look unrecognizable to us horror fans. So we'll see. What kind of play is Walmart going to do? I mean, they're Walmart, so they're probably like, Donna, what? Like, what is this all about? Like, who cares about this building? Like, if we knew that a bunch of dorks cared about this building, we would have never bought it, because here we go. But let me know what you guys think in the comments here. Let's see. Gina says, I hope Ken gets that. I absolutely love Dawn. There's a zombie in it that looks like my Aunt Mary. There you go. Walmart isn't going to give a crap about us fans. Yeah, I would imagine that they are not going to care about that at all. Yeah. So yeah, guys, I mean, I had to share that. Romero is arguably my favorite director of all time. I adore the Living Dead films and, Dawn of the Dead. Seeing that as like I don't know, I was like 16 or 17, probably 17 when I first saw it. Just kind of blew my mind. So I'm hoping they can preserve this thing. I don't know what it takes, but as Jamie says, I think I'm kind of with you there, Jamie, that Walmart isn't going to care. So yeah, they'd have to have like a hardcore fan on the board to be like, guys, hear me out. Let's try to be the good guys here. And who knows? Maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised, guys. Ty, yeah, we're going to cover a little bit of that. On the news on Monday, we covered some of that. So if you want to check out the Black Phone stuff, there's a video on the channel, and I did cover that already. And we've got a triple rock block of Mike Flanagan stories coming up, so don't worry. Yeah, let's see what is the next story. Okay, this one will be a quick one as well. This one I just missed it last time around. I should have caught it, because this story is like a week old or so. So yeah, guys, I previously missed this one, but we've got a new documentary about Vincent Price called The Vincent Price Legacy, featuring Rob Zombie, Joe Dante, John Landis, Alice Cooper, and more. So this one will be a pretty quick share here. Vincent Price is a name that echoes through the halls of classic horror with his distinctive voice, sharp features, and inimitable flair. Ooh, I like that word for theatrical finesse. He left his mark on generations of filmmakers, actors, artists, and movie fans. The Vincent Price Legacy, billed as the world's first feature-length documentary about the master of menace, explores the man behind the legend through conversations with his family, friends, colleagues, historians, and fans. It features interviews with Price's daughter, Victoria, filmmakers Rob Zombie, Joe Dante, John Landis, Mick Garris, William Malone, Mark Goldblatt, and Kenneth Johnson, and screenwriters Dana Gould, C. Courtney Joyner, and Steve Haberman. The lineup also includes actors David Dastmalchian, love the good old Dastmalchian boy, Caroline Munro, Elizabeth Shepard, Steve Johnson, Alice Cooper, and Rob Usher, film historians David Del Valle, Peter Fuller, and Jonathan Rigby. And look at that. YouTubers Michael and Jessica Colentz from the Grim Life Collective. That's pretty awesome. The documentary is 136 minutes. And guys, there is a trailer there. Again, I'm not going to share the trailer because I get into copyright trouble when I do. So if you want to see what this documentary is all about, if you are a Vincent Price fan, I don't know many people who aren't. Maybe I think it just is a spectrum. Like, who doesn't like Vincent Price? I don't know much about him, like, personally, but every time I've seen him in a movie, he is absolutely mesmerizing. And yeah, it's just kind of crazy that he's, here 30 years or so after his death, he's, arguably a bigger icon than he was previously. So yeah, it's kind of wild. Let's go ahead and check out our next story here. All right, guys. Let me get the Mike Flanagan triple rock block. There we go. All right, guys. You ready for some Mike Flanagan talk? Okay, we've got a triple rock block of Mike Flanagan stories here for you. First, to kick things off, as Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards, he tried to bury the lead earlier on in the stream. He brought up this whole Exorcist thing. Couldn't even wait for me to talk about it. It's like, Barry, you've got your own channel, bro. What are you doing? So here we go. Our first Mike Flanagan story. The other day we covered Carrie. You can find that here on the channel as well. But our very first Mike Flanagan story that we're going to cover here today is The Exorcist will definitely not be hitting its March 2026 release date. And let's read on here. Mike Flanagan is a busy man at the moment, with The Life of Chuck headed to select theaters this weekend before a nationwide release next weekend. Flanagan is also adapting Stephen King's Carrie for a Prime Video television series. Where does that leave Flanagan's The Exorcist movie for Blumhouse and Morgan Creek? Well, we may have to wait a bit for that one. Flanagan's The Exorcist had been dated for theatrical release on March 13th, 2026, but he reveals in a response to a fan over on Tumblr that there's no way it's going to meet that date. To quote Flanagan, "Production hasn't started. We need to finish Carrie first. No way it's coming out next March." He adds for clarification, however, "Nothing to worry about, though." So yeah, guys, you guys all know David Gordon Green's planned Exorcist trilogy, which began with the poorly received Exorcist Believer, is no more, and Blumhouse is pivoting to this new path with Mike Flanagan. So while plot details are currently under wraps, according to Bloody Disgusting, Flanagan's film will tell an all-new story set in the Exorcist universe, and it's definitely not a sequel to The Exorcist Believer. So yeah, Flanagan also said that it's going to be a radical new take for the franchise. So yeah, I'm curious to see what you guys all think about, the delay here. Is it worth the sacrifice to put together a Prime Video series of Carrie? I don't know. According to Barry from Wolfman's Got Nards, no way. But also, man, talk about franchises that really don't need an expanded universe, but we keep on trying to make these Exorcist movies, and there's like 2 good Exorcist movies in the whole entire franchise. It's not very strong. So, yeah, I don't know. You guys know how I feel. Religious demonic possession movies just don't do it for me for whatever reason. I like demonic possession movies that get really wild and crazy. Like, that's kind of my cup of tea. So yeah, that's the news here for Mike Flanagan's The Exorcist. We can move on over to another little Mike Flanagan story that we've got here. Mike Flanagan says Batman the Animated Series inspired his Clayface movie script. So apparently something is still happening here with Clayface. I know we got that like kind of announcement that something was happening, but then the Batman keeps on getting pushed back. So it's sort of like, well, what's going on? And of course, Mike Flanagan seems to be adapting like everything under the sun. But this article goes on to say DC character Clayface is getting a live action movie written by horror master Mike Flanagan. Though it's important to note that Flanagan himself won't be directing the movie. Well, I guess that means it'll actually get made, in the within the next 6 years. James Watkins will be in the director's chair for this one. So he did Eden Lake, The Woman in Black, and Speak No Evil. The article goes on to say, it's equally important to note that the Flanagan-penned Clayface movie is currently undergoing revisions, with writer Hossein Amini from Drive coming on board to revise the script. It's impossible to know at this stage how much of Flanagan's vision will remain intact, with Flanagan himself pondering the very same question in a new chat with comicbook.com. So to quote Mike Flanagan, he says, I don't know what they're doing with Clayface. I'm not directing it, and that filmmaker will need to make it their own. I know that they're doing work on the script. I'm off doing other things now. I really hope it remains true to the spirit of what I intended it to be. But it's not my movie, so I'll be in the audience with you, anxious to see how it comes out. And the article goes on to say Flanagan's screenplay for the Clayface movie, he reveals in the chat, was heavily inspired by the character's appearance in the classic Batman the Animated Series, particularly the two-part episode titled Feet of Clay, which famously introduced Clayface into the series. That's awesome news. I think that's the best bit of news. Hopefully they keep that part of the story intact as they work on that script. I love that two-parter, that back-to-back episode duo on the animated series. I felt like it was a real emotional character-driven story, and I think that's the way to go with Clayface. I want to see something wild with this. So yeah, let me know, guys. What do you think about the Mike Flanagan Clayface movie script inspired by Batman the Animated Series? Let's see what you guys have to say. He wrote a Clayface movie. Yes, he did. Jamie Hart says, I'm so sick of superhero/comic book movies. Well, maybe this one will be a little bit different. It'll be like a superhero comic book, like meets the substance kind of thing. Jordan says, Clayface, what a name. I was called Pizza Face in grade school. Man, you had acne in grade school, Jordan? Holy crap. What, did you hit puberty in 3rd grade? What the hell? I mean, more power to you. You do have an amazing, bit of facial hair on you, so I could believe it. T. Parker says, anything Batman, I'm seated for. Well, there you go. Oh, but Denise is with Jamie. She's so tired of these superhero and comic book movies. So Jamie doesn't want superhero or comic book movies, and she doesn't want any more Halloween movies, if you guys are keeping track at home. And real quick, before we jump on over to our third story here on the Mike Flanagan Triple Rock Block, I'm going to check the poll. 34 votes. 47% don't care either way about Blumhouse having the rights to Saw. 38% say, hell yeah, here we go, baby. And 15% say, no, they ruin everything. So make sure to vote if you haven't already. And 34 votes. Do we have 34 likes? 21 likes. So wow, a lot of you guys just want to vote and get the hell out. Don't even like the stream. Come on. Raggedy Man says, I'm worried you can't get his true origin without seeming like a ripoff of The Substance. Well, the source material was long before The Substance, but I hear you. Yeah, I mean, I even think The Substance is, don't hang me for this one, guys, but The Substance is kind of a ripoff of The Wasp Woman, which is like a 1960s Roger Corman movie, Yeah, I was saying that earlier, Jamie, that not everything needs to be an expanded universe. You know what I mean? Same, Jordan. Same. Oh, the poll is gone. Crazy. Well, let me officially end it then, and then we'll jump on to our... There we go. Ending the poll. There you go. You guys can see the results. And then we can move on to our third story here. I'm going to chop this all up for the clips, for the news bits. Have you guys been enjoying the news bits? Let me know. Let me know. All right. So here is the third story in our Mike Flanagan Triple Rock Block. Mike Flanagan gives promising update on the Dark Tower series adaptation. Yet another Stephen King adaptation. I guess at this point, they should just like sign a contract. Just like, hey, anything that you want me to make, Stephen, I'll make it. Have him get on board as executive producer and all that kind of fun stuff. So yeah, guys, the article goes on to say, or starts to say, a long, quote, a long tale like a tall tower must be built a stone at a time. Like Stephen King's beloved The Dark Tower novel series, the road to its series adaptation is long and winding. Luckily, its showrunner recently provided comic book with a hopeful update. With The Life of Chuck releasing this week, a new Exorcist movie on the way, and casting announced on his upcoming Carrie series, it's safe to say that filmmaker and showrunner Mike Flanagan is keeping very, very busy. Where does The Dark Tower, initially announced over 2 years ago, fit into his slate? So to quote Flanagan here, he says, "It's not that I've put it down. It's just that the thing is so big, it's like building an oil tanker. We've been moving it forward this whole time. It's just, that's how big it is. It's constantly in the works, and you better believe, as often as you guys may want to ask about it, Stephen King is asking me about it more, and I'm not going to let him down." Well, that's good. That's I like his. I haven't even read this article. I just sort of fell into reading it like a response because there's something just so honest about the way he approached that response. And the article goes on to say Flanagan is indeed a sprawling novel series. I think that's a typo. I think it's supposed to say The Dark Tower is indeed a sprawling novel series. King began writing the first novel in the epic Dark Tower saga, The Gunslinger, in 1970, which was then published in 1982. The Gunslinger then led to 7 more novels, a novella, and a children's book. It follows Roland Deschain, Midworld's last gunslinger, as he travels across Midworld's post-apocalyptic landscape in search of the Dark Tower. So yeah, guys, that rounds out our Mike Flanagan triple rock block. I've read a little bit of that Gunslinger novel. Yeah, it is just such a, to do a series adaptation. Is this something where they're working on a film or they're working on a series? Because I don't see that they've really nailed that down. I would imagine series adaptation is long and winding. I think this is the kind of thing that really should be a TV show. With that many entries in the series and that rich of like a history, that's when you go to a TV show for sure. So yeah, guys, let me know what you think. Are you Stephen King fans? Do you love the Dark Tower series? Is this something you're looking forward to? How do you rank the different Mike Flanagan projects going on right now? So we've got Carrie for Prime Video. We've got The Exorcist, which is going to be pushed back from March of 2026, but hopefully still sometime in 2026. Then we've got that Clayface script that he wrote. He won't be directing it, but that's going to be, coming out hopefully within the next few years. Hopefully it doesn't get caught in development hell. And now we've got this Dark Tower series adaptation that's been kind of getting worked on in the background. So let me know how you rank those in the comments below, like which one you're most interested in, which one you're least interested in. I'm curious to know what all you Flanagan fans have to say. So let me know. All right, guys, let's see what you have to say here. I want more Season of the Witch lore, says T. Parker Evans. That could be really cool. A whole season remake of Season of the Witch could be fun. I feel like the Dark Tower is hard to adapt, but I guess we'll see what happens. Yeah, so many. I just think that you have to do a TV show. Like each season could be like a book, because there's 8 books, it sounds like, a novella and a children's book. So depending on how you want to do that, you can't even do all of that with a trilogy of films, Victor says The Exorcist is definitely the most terrifying movie of all time, in my opinion. Todd Bound walking in to the chat. How are you doing, Todd? One of our great channel members. And Todd, I saw a comment you left on one of my videos. It sounds like you're in the Tucson area. I'm just hour and a half little northwest of you, out in the West Valley of Phoenix. So not that bad. Not that bad. Maybe I'll stroll on out there and we'll grab a brewski. Jamie says a TV show. I 100% agree. Yeah, and I'm not even the biggest TV show guy, but that's how I would roll for sure. Raggedy Man says, I like the idea they had in the 90s, 2000s, where you would have TV seasons in between the movies. You could do that. You could do that for sure. Let's see. What else do we got here? It's 3:15. I've probably got 20 to 25 minutes, so let's get cruising here. Don't mind me. as I write. What the hell is this thing called? I know. There we go. Don't worry, guys. For those of you watching live, you kind of get to see the process here. And then I'll chop it all up for the videos that come out later. But I really do appreciate you guys kicking it with me on the live. You guys are amazing. Make sure you hit that like button, though. All right. And we have 18 people here in the middle of the day on a Thursday. Not so bad. And again, for those of you who are watching live, maybe you haven't caught Hit the Bricks yet. I do that show with Lee from Drum Dums and Nick from the Lost River Drive-In. That's every other week. We cover horror movie news and we have some topics of discussion. I'm doing some news on my own channel because there's so many stories out there and there's some stuff we just don't get to. So hopefully I'm not double dipping too much, but appreciate you guys kicking it with us. All right, guys, this one is, I really don't know how I feel about this after reading what they're doing with the story. So here we go, guys. A24 adapting Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death with Mikey Madison in talks to star in dual roles. Now, I think Mikey Madison is a pretty damn good actress. So my trepidation over this story has nothing to do with her casting. It's how they're going to change the story, and we'll get into a little bit of that. So let's check out the article here. So the article says it was announced earlier this year that A24 and Picture Start were developing a new adaptation of Edgar Allan Poe's The Mask of the Red Death. Today, The Hollywood Reporter reports that it may have found its new star. Oscar winner Mikey Madison is in talks to star. Okay, so she hasn't quite signed on yet. Sydney Sweeney from Immaculate was previously attached to the film but dropped out due to scheduling issues. Charlie Polinger from F Me Richard is writing and directing The Mask of the Red Death for A24, said to be a, quote, wildly revisionist and darkly comedic take on the short story. Man, when you're starting out with wildly revisionist, you might as well say it's going to disrespect the original work. Get ready for that. The article goes on to say Madison would play, quote, twin sisters in a story that sees a mad prince take in the noble class into his castle while a plague devastates the peasantry. The story sees a long-lost twin hidden among the lower class enter the castle and into a decadent world of orgies, opium, power schemes, revenge, and decapitation. So basically like every TV show that exists now. The Hollywood Reporter also describes the project as, quote, a quintessential A24 movie, one that will likely include eyebrow-raising, memeable scenes that should resonate among the TikTok class. Fuck. That is depressing stuff to read. And I try to be as positive as possible here on the channel. I feel like I'm positive way more than I'm negative. Guys, in my real life, I'm a lot more negative than I am on the channel. Not that I'm not genuine here on the channel, but I want to be presentable. And I don't want to be such a like doom and gloom kind of guy here. But that is kind of blows me away that that's even written. The Hollywood Hollywood Reporter even wrote that. I'm going to re-say that. A quintessential A24 movie, one that will likely include eyebrow-raising, memeable scenes that should resonate among the TikTok class. Holy shit. So the article finishes up by saying the original Poe story, was published in 1842. Roger Corman adapted it back in 1964 with Vincent Price. There you go, another little Vincent Price nod. And yeah, so again, Mikey Madison, beyond capable as a performer. No issues. I'm sure she'll do a good job with whatever they give her. But guys, let's hop on over really quick to Wikipedia for a little bit of a lesson. So this is why I'm worried about it. So here we go. This is the story from the original, the original book published in 1842. So the story follows Prince Prospero's attempts to avoid a dangerous plague known as the Red Death by hiding in his abbey. He, along with many other wealthy nobles, hosts a masquerade ball in 7 rooms of the abbey, each decorated with a different color. In the midst of their revelry, a mysterious figure disguised as a Red Death victim enters and makes his way through each of the rooms. Prospero dies after confronting the stranger, whose costume proves to contain nothing tangible inside it. The guests also die in turn. So you'd think that with A24 doing it, they would want to go that ambiguous route. I love the idea of the person that infiltrates just represents kind of inevitable death, essentially, and that when they take the costume off, there's nothing there. Like, I kind of like that. Yeah, I don't like the idea of, like, I don't know. I like the ambiguity of the costume being empty and that being sort of like the, ooh, what a twist, like the sort of Twilight Zone twist of it all. But this one's going to be wildly revisionist, as they say, for this A24 adaptation. And I guess if they're trying to appeal to the TikTok class, if you can even say that TikTok has a class, I guess they're just TikTok generation. Class implies that there's something like involved there. I'm gonna get canceled for that one. But yeah, it just seems like this is gonna be not for people that enjoy the original. I don't know. I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think in the comments. Let me know what you think in the chat here. Yeah, who knows? I'll probably watch this one, but I think it would be a lot better if they, regardless if you want to flip the gender and have Mikey Madison be the lead, that's fine. I still think it would be better to have that original ending. I don't think a lot of people know the original ending. I'm sure I read this story when I was younger, but I had to look it up on Wikipedia just to kind of make heads or tails with it. So let me know in the comments down below, guys. Yeah, a TikTok class, I'm going to pass. There you go. I am Debbie Downer from A24, or from SNL. I'm reading Jamie's comment as I read your comment. I will always give A24 a chance. They're the only company out there who are taking real risks. This sounds right up my alley. All right. The only revisionist I'm down with are revisionist Westerns. There you go. You lose me at revisionist every time, says Raggedy Man. Yeah, it is one of those words where you're like, oh, well, I guess at least you're coming out and saying, like, yeah, this is going to be, like, not for half the audience out there. Maxine was such a missed opportunity, seeing how X and Pearl were so awesome. And also memeable scenes. A24's Chicken Jockey were cooked. Yeah. TikTok has no class. There you go. I really enjoyed Maxine. It was my second favorite in the trilogy for sure. Yeah, I think it is underrated. I liked how I'm not going to get into any spoilers, but I liked how it all connected to everything else before it. Really good. I definitely didn't expect everything to bookend so nicely for sure. Okay, guys, what else do we have here? We got a couple quick ones here. Handful of quick ones here to end this one. So thanks, guys, for bearing with me. You all are amazing. Again. Okay, let's check this friggin' weird shit out. Okay, guys, so Predator, Killer of Killers exclusive clip takes the hunt to the sky in World War II dogfight. So I don't know if you guys have been following this. I mentioned it earlier when we were talking about Alien. Everything's got a friggin' cinematic universe or just some expanded universe. It's kind of getting ridiculous. I think Predator was better when it was just the first two movies, and now it's just gotten completely off the rails. And here we are with an animated show that's set to come out here June 6th. So begins the hunt on Hulu on June 6th. And then we've got a full-length movie, a live-action movie coming out this fall, I believe. So yeah, it's here. Expanded universes for every intellectual property is here. And I don't really dig the animation style here. I did watch the clip. So you can check out the clip here on Bloody Disgusting. You can find it on YouTube. Again, for copyright reasons, I'm not going to share the clip here on the stream, but we'll go ahead and check out the article. It says the classic action horror franchise is getting its first animated installment this Friday with the anthology movie Predator, Killer of Killers. And we've got an exclusive clip that drops Yauta. How do you even say this thing? Oh my god. Do they ever say the name in any of the movies? Or are we just supposed to like know? Is this supposed to be like intrinsic knowledge? Yautja hunt in the middle of a World War II dogfight. Predator, Killer of Killers begins the hunt on Hulu June 6th. Check out the clip down below titled Stay in Your Lane, in which dogfighter Torres takes the lead once a strange new enemy enters the fight. If you listen closely, you can hear Aliens actor Michael Bihn's voice as his character doles out orders. Co-director Dan Trachtenberg previously said of his original animated feature, quote, thematically, all segments are driven by a simple question. Who would be a unique challenge for the Predator? That certainly appears to be the case. This anthology is unleashing a Predator aerial battle. The original animated action-adventure film follows three of the fiercest warriors in human history, a Viking raider guiding her young son on a bloody quest for revenge, a ninja in feudal Japan who turns against his samurai brother in a battle for succession, and a World War II pilot who takes to the sky to investigate an otherworldly threat to the Allied cause. So this is going to be like little vignettes, almost like an anthology kind of story. So I guess that's sort of interesting. The animation, I don't know if it was really my thing. It looks a little, I don't know. To me, it kind of looks like an animatic, not like a finished product. So I don't know. But I do know this. Not everything needs an expanded universe. Not every intellectual property needs 5 projects going on at the same time. But here we are. Here we are with Predator, Killer of Killers. Guys, let me know in the chat and let me know in the comments if you're excited for this, if you're a huge Predator fan. Maybe there's something I'm missing here and you can help me see it from your perspective and gain a little something here. Vikings, ninjas, and pilots. Oh my. I don't know. I completely bombed it. Someone in the comments is going to have to let me know for sure. Jamie says, all these overdone expanded universes can kiss my booty. Oh, love it. Yeah, this one, I don't know. It's on Hulu. Maybe I'll watch a little bit of it. I'm just not very enthused or energized with the Predator universe. Again, the first movie, really fun, really mysterious, a great time. And I think the second movie is actually a pretty worthy follow-up that does some totally different things. And of course, I guess you can say that the second movie is ultimately responsible for all of this because it connected the Predator series to the Aliens franchise. So here we are, though. But yeah, guys, let me know in the comments down below what you think of Predator, Killer of Killers. Are you going to be watching that right when it comes out on Hulu Friday, June 6th? Let me know. All right, guys, let's see what else we got. Oh, this will be a fun one. Oh, we're going to have some fun here, guys. Okay, so this is like our third to last. There we go. Okay. Here we are. Okay, guys, so I was planning on watching this movie this weekend, The Ritual, not the awesome film called The Ritual that came out in 2017 about the guys going on a hike to celebrate the memory of their great friend. No. This is The Ritual 2025 with Dan Stevens and Al Pacino. And holy cow, guys. I'm not going to read through the full review here because this doesn't really warrant that amount of time. I was going to watch and review this film. Maybe I'll check it out next week if I want to torture myself or have some crazy wild take or just be able to trash something. But as it sits right now, you guys, this thing is, let's check it out. Let's go on over here. 0% on Rotten Tomatoes after 23 reviews. I'm going to reload the page and see if anything else has changed here. 0%, 26 reviews. So, of course, you know, you can't just believe everything a critic says. But it is shocking that there are 26 reviews on this thing and not one of them is a fresh review. So we can kind of peruse some of these. I guess real quick, we'll go back over to Rotten Tomatoes, but let's go ahead and I'll read a little bit here from Bloody Disgusting because we get so much, you know, news from him here. I do want to give him some time. So this is Megan Navarro. She says, not even Dan Stevens or veteran actor Al Pacino can inject life into The Ritual, the latest exorcism horror movie that adapts the 1928 exorcism of Emma Schmidt. Framed with a documentary eye, director David Medell attempts to shake up the tired formula by stretching out the cleansing ritual typically reserved for the climax into a full feature. The problem is that there's not enough substance or story to fill its plotting runtime. Just more tired musings on faith and religion amidst stale possession horror cliches. So, ooh, that is a scathing indictment. That's a really great paragraph written by Megan Navarro. I'm gonna give her a little credit because last time when we did these news stories, and I'm not saying this was her, it was just from Bloody Disgusting, there was some really odd syntax and some poor grammar decisions and mistakes. That is a great paragraph there that just, I mean, that's kind of all you need, right? Like you read that paragraph, you're like, okay, I get it. But maybe it's not all you need. So let's check out some of these on Rotten Tomatoes. Just treads overly familiar territory in a thoroughly pedestrian fashion. Stop me if you've heard this one before. No, I mean, stop me. Just watch The Exorcist again. The based on a true story horror movie fails to evoke any emotion as it sleepwalks through a tired recreation of an exorcism movie's third act. It's an ordinary, wholly predictable exorcism tale. In a double feature with The Exorcist, The Ritual would be the inferior B movie. So, oh my gosh, Avi Ophir, or Offer, I'm going to say Ophir. Avi Ophir doesn't even like the original Exorcist. So, okay, let's cut him out. We still have 25 reviews that are not fresh. This attempts to unite period drama and demonic possession, but feels tired and overworked on both counts. The film's greatest sin is how utterly boring it is. You get the point, guys. The Ritual. I was gonna see it this weekend, but I will be giving this one a miss. Perhaps next week. I don't know. Do you guys want me to see it? Should we do a super chat goal? I'll do the easiest super chat goal. $5 or more. I'll watch and review The Ritual. And I'll put in there that it's the 2025 just so I can't cheat you and review the Ritual movie that I like. So guys, just one super chat of $5 will get you a watch and review of The Ritual. I should have made it $10. Somebody's going to do it just to piss me off. Damn, 0%. That's an impressive accomplishment. Yeah. 0%. That's embarrassing. Yeah, to have Al Pacino and Dan Stevens in there and not even be able to get one positive review. Not even one person is like, hey, the movie's bad, but the acting's good. Nope. Ugh. No more possession movies. I'm kind of right there with you. Although I love, you know, the Evil Dead, demons, wild stuff like that, like the non-religious stuff. I don't know what it is. It's like, I think that when demonic possession movies try to be more grounded, I just don't find them as interesting. It's not that I'm offended at the material. I'm offended at how uninterested I find myself. Dean says, I still might give this a go. 0% is so surprising. I think a lot of it has to do with the modern world being way less religious nowadays. Yeah, could be. Or it could be that it's just really bad. We should go see it at the same time, Dean, and text each other during it. Jordan Decker says should just watch the XX Exorcist instead. Eggplant emoji. Thank you so much for that one, Jordan. Look at that. Brother Fluff Salisbury drops the 5 to reach the goal, and he says, have fun. And look, Denise Wheat didn't even need to, but there's a $4.99 from Denise as well. Thank you so much, guys. Really appreciate the super chat. And look at that. We were able to reach the goal. So how about it? I'm going to give both of those super chats a little bit of love there. There you go, guys. I'm not going to be able to watch it tonight. I will be able to watch it sometime this. It'll have to be early next week because I've already fulfilled my 4 tickets for AMC A-list. So the R.I.P. Davey, I'll be praying for you and hope for the best. So yeah, the earliest I'll be able to check this one out will be Monday. So keep an eye out on Monday. Yep, now I'm roped in. There you go. Hey, at least I said I should have made it 10. At least I basically did get 10 for it. And it's, with AMC A-list, it's not going to cost me extra money, but it will just cost me some time there. Enjoy the movie or put towards the shirt. There you go. You're stuck now. Enjoy. Well, hey, at least I got a little cashito for it, right? Not so bad. Okay, guys, a couple of really, really quick ones, and then we're all wrapped up. How about it? How about it? So let's see. What's this one called? Ooh, The Man in My Basement. Oh my goodness. Sorry, guys. Having keyboard issues. Yeah, don't mind the dead air, everyone. Just deal with it. I'm terrible as a live host today. I admit it. I admit it. Okay, guys, so this one just popped up earlier today, and I had noticed it because I'm a really big Willem Dafoe fan. It's kind of like his performances, no matter what is going on in the rest of the movie, I will always enjoy his performance. So this one is Willem Dafoe starring in The Man in My Basement on Hulu this fall. And I don't know if some of you, this is based off a novel, so let me know if you've seen the film, or sorry, if you've read the novel. Oh my God. Blah, 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 blah. This one is based on a novel, so let me know if you've read the novel. Let me know in the comments down below or in the chat. But the article goes on to say, based on the acclaimed novel by Walter Mosley, director Nadia Latif's thriller, The Man in My Basement, is coming to theaters and Hulu in fall 2025, and the teaser has arrived. Corey Hawkins and Willem Dafoe star in The Man in My Basement alongside Anna Diop, Jonathan Ajayi, Gershwin Eustace Jr., Pamela Nobavinte, and Tamara Lawrence. Holy cow, I can't read like half of people's names now when I read through actors and actresses' names. Watch the official teaser trailer below so you guys can watch that. Again, because of copyright issues, I'm not going to be showing any trailers, but you can find that on the Bloody Disgusting article or on YouTube. And it looks like the story here goes along the lines of this. In the upcoming psychological thriller, in the African-American neighborhood of Sag Harbor, New York, Charles Blakey is out of work, out of luck, and on the verge of foreclosure on his ancestral home. A knock on the door from a mysterious businessman brings a bizarre, lucrative proposition. Rent his dusty stand-up basement out for the summer and receive enough money to clear his debts for good. Once Charles accepts, he finds himself led down a terrifying path that confronts his family's ghosts and locks the men in a terrifying puzzle. At the heart of it, race. Wow. These articles, who wrote this one? John Squires. John Squires, you need an editor. Let me try to reread that last sentence. The locks. John Squires, you definitely need an editor, dude. Once Charles accepts, he finds himself led down a terrifying path that confronts his family's ghosts and locks the men in a terrifying puzzle. At the heart of it is race, the source of their traumas, and the root of all evil. So hopefully I can edit that to make some sense of it, because holy cow, I'm going to hit up John on Twitter and let him know. If you need somebody to read over your stuff before you publish it, dude, like I'll do it. You can give me a little bit of a fee, but let's just make sure that they're actual real sentences that people can read, or just have Megan Navarro take a look at it because hers are great. I'm such a jerk. Let's see what you guys are saying here in the chat. The Man in My Basement. What the? Yeah, is this a story about Jordan Decker visiting and never leaving? I think it might be. I think it might be. Yeah, there you go. It's on Hulu. Might as well watch it. Willem Dafoe is amazing. Yeah, love him. Of course, because black people are all poor. I'm white and I'm poor. This movie could star me. Star you as the guy, like I said, Jordan, who wants to live in your basement and never leave. That's what I would imagine. Yeah, of course, that everything seems to be about that, about like race in some sort of way. I think class is more indicative of your life experience than race, but what the heck do I know? I'm a white dude. Chat GPT is our editor. There are no excuses, John. Yeah, I mean, just have another workmate read over it. I feel like John is like the guy at Bloody Disgusting. His articles shouldn't be riddled with bizarre typos and omission of important words. Even if they are just 2 letters, they are important when you're trying to read them. So yeah, guys, I don't have much to say about this one. The trailer made it look kind of interesting. I'm curious to know like what the heck is really going on in there in the basement, because basically he's like, I'll give you $1,000 a day for 65 days. You just have to promise me you won't tell anybody about our arrangement. So he can't even tell his family about what's going on or anything like that. So damn it, Davey. I was this close to staying in Pat's basement permanently. There you go. And then, yeah, guys, just moving on to our last one here. This one's kind of fun. Be a fun one to end it on, I would imagine. Let's see if I can get the website to cooperate with me. There you go. There you go. Okay. Right? Is that what this is? There we go. Appreciate you guys being so cool and chilling with me. 15 people hanging out. Where are the likes at? Where are the likes at? Are we past 21? 23. Okay. That's passable. I think we can get to 25, though, before the stream's over. All right. This one's interesting to me, guys. So our next story here is Event Horizon Dark Descent Inked Pages Preview, upcoming prequel comic. Yeah, guys, Event Horizon, I think one of the strongest movies that Paul W.S. Anderson ever released. I saw this one in the theater with my parents and my big brother, Matt, and my mom was like covering her eyes half the time. This is like, The Shining in space is kind of what Event Horizon reminds me of. And I like this idea of doing a prequel comic because I'm not the biggest prequel film fan, but to be able to get a little bit of that insight and that story in a different medium, I'm way more okay with that. I really enjoy Event Horizon a lot. I think it's kind of like a mindfuck movie. Great performances by Sam Neill and Lawrence Fishburne for sure. And some really disturbing imagery. Apparently also there was like some stuff that was left on the cutting room floor that's even more disturbing. But let's take a look at the article here. I'm interested in knowing if you guys are comic book fans, like collectors of stuff like this, just kind of like off the superhero beaten path, the more like horror comic driven stuff. And if you're a fan of Event Horizon and you're interested in seeing, what this prequel could be all about. So let me know in the chat. Let me know in the comments down below as well. The article, let's see who did this one. Alex DiVincenzo. So let's see how his editing is. The article says, discover what happened to the original Event Horizon crew in Event Horizon Dark Descent, a 5-part comic prequel to the 1997 cosmic horror film launching August 20th from IDW Publishing. Bloody Disgusting has an early look at 3 inked pages, pre-coloring and lettering, by artist Tristan Jones, who's working on the series with writer Christian Ward and colorist Pip Martin. Taking place prior to the movie's 2047 setting, the comic will uncover what really happened to Captain Killpack and the first Event Horizon crew as their ship journeyed across a nightmarish realm of torments beyond imagining. Quote, Event Horizon is one of those films that everyone remembers for a specific reason. That scene, Jones tells Bloody Disgusting. And he continues with, on a surface level, what that scene implies is something that people have really only been left to imagine. And because that's where we're going, it immediately takes the comic into really precarious ground as a creator to go beyond that surface. So let's take a look at these images here. You can read the rest of the article. It looks like they continue. We've got some black and white pages here. This looks really good. So much detail here. The middle panel on this first page. I mean, a lot of detail throughout, but particularly in this room, you know, that I can't remember what exactly they call this thing. It basically folds time and allows the ship to go through it. But yeah, you guys can check out these images. We got our demons there, it looks like. Nice little shot of the Event Horizon in space. I like the composition here. This is looking pretty good. A lot of detail. I'm very curious to see what it ends up looking like once it's colored. But yeah, these are pretty darn good images. This is good stuff, guys. Let me know what you think in the chat and in the comments as well. So yeah, this is pretty cool stuff. I know my buddy Cecil Laird over at the Horror Show channel. I would imagine he's going to pick these up. He's a massive, you know, just has a huge comic book collection. He's such a fan, and especially these horror comics and limited edition kind of stuff, you know, limited series runs. So I would imagine Cecil is going to be interested in picking these up, and I'm curious to know what you guys all think. Jamie says, I am totally down for an Event Horizon comic. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's this looks really good. I don't collect comics, but I'd collect that comic. There you go. I think that's kind of what some of these horror, you know what I mean? Like you were saying earlier, you're done with like the comic book, even the movies and the superhero movies and everything, but there is its own niche of like, there's a niche of fandom out there for this kind of stuff. I'd love to see the missing blood orgy footage, but it was damaged beyond repair. That's too bad. Maybe they can, I don't know. You never know. Maybe they can find a way to resurface it. Frankie D, what's happening, Frankie D? Welcome on in. Todd says, I haven't collected comics since I managed a comic book store in the 90s, but I'll definitely check it out. There you go. So yeah, guys, let me know in the chat or in the comments. Let me know in the comments if you are looking forward to this prequel comic, and yeah, that should wrap it up here for our news segment. So thank you guys so much for kicking it. Look at that, 3:45. I got to be at the movie theater in 1 hour. I'm gonna do this. There we go, and I'm gonna do that. And look at that, Jordan Decker dropping a $1.99 super chat, says 50 characters, just enough to say, suck it. There you go. There you are, Jordan. Should I give you a nippy, Jordan? Just for you. There we go. Just a little second of that for you, Jordan. There you go. That will not make it into the clip show. Yeah, guys, thank you so much for chilling out with me. I'm going to grab a bite before heading out to the movie theater. I'll be checking out Phoenician Scheme and Dangerous Animals tonight, so look out for some shorts content. We're gonna have out of the theater reactions and little mini non-spoiler reviews for each one of those on the shorts, and then when I get home tonight I will shoot reviews for both movies, at least for Dangerous Animals. We'll see what I have to say about Phoenician Scheme, but yeah, we shall see. Really appreciate you guys for kicking it. You know, you never know when you go live earlier on in the day. I feel like we had a pretty awesome group in here. Thank you so much to all the Patreon members and all of our channel members, of course, and our amazing group of Death Squad mods that keep everything really nice and clean here. Really appreciate Brother Fluff for dropping the 5. That reached the goal for our super chat, which is for me to watch The Ritual 2025 and do a review. And Denise also dropped a $4.99. Thank you so much, Denise. And then we got Jordan in there with the $1.99 because he wanted to say, suck it. So there you go. You guys are awesome. I'm going to be back on Saturday night live with Movie Punk. So it's going to be Foz Rotten, myself, Bill Frickenstein from the Everscathed, and Garrett from Born to Be Rad. We're going to talk about the 80s classic metal horror film, Black Roses. So that's going to be 10 p.m. Eastern Saturday night. So keep an eye out for that. Next Wednesday on Late Night with the Davey, 9 p.m. Eastern, we're going to do a battle. The battle, guys. Friday the 13th, the final chapter versus Friday the 13th, part 6, Jason Lives. Mark from Tales from the Shelf is going to be on the show, as well as Vincent DeSanti from Womp Stomp Films, Never Hike Alone, all that good stuff. We are going to definitively figure out which is the better film, the final chapter or Jason Lives. And of course, keep an eye out for pre-recorded content. I'll be dropping all the stories that we covered here during this news segment as, you know, little clips and smaller vids on the channel, so you guys can digest this a little bit easier if you want to revisit any of it. Really appreciate all the folks that hung out with us in the live. Thank you so much for everyone that's watching after the fact. You are absolutely incredible. I will see you guys next time around. But until then, I've been and will continue being Davey Deathray. Take care.